We're back. Javon, Sean, the original duo, all 52 podcasts. And man, if I would give someone $1,000 at the beginning of the season, they told me the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots would be playing in the Super Bowl. Javon, what's good, man?
Listen, the Seahawks I might have been able to believe.
Yeah, maybe.
But the Patriots damn sure no. Woo!
I would say damn sure no to even Seattle because I wasn't a Sam Darnold guy. So I would say for me, this is like the okay. I call it the NBA Finals version of the NFL's NBA Finals version of last year. Thunder versus Pacers. I would never have expected Seahawks versus the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
OKC wasn't just so far-fetched idea last year, though.
No, not OKC, but it's just the matchup was you thought OKC would have faced the Pacers. Some people might have. I just didn't think last year, especially with the Celtics, the Knicks.
I didn't think the Pacers had a chance.
Nah, exactly. And it's I don't know. It's just a weird championship round. But whatever. The two best teams made the title games. We'll see how it goes.
I mean, while we're on that topic, though, we do our predictions at the start of each season. Well, before each season begins.
Yes.
I think I did pretty decent. I got 5 teams out of 7 in each of the conferences in terms of the playoffs. The AFC West, I might have had the teams wrong, but I had the records right for first and second place. So at least I knew what it was going to take to win the AFC West. I'm going to pat myself on the back for that. I got the Rams, Raiders, Bears, and Vikings records correct. And then I got the order of the NFC East and NFC West standings correct.
That's pretty good.
So I'm giving myself a pat on the back. I think I did pretty good this year.
What was your Super Bowl prediction?
Wasn't this? I'll tell you that much.
Mine was the Ravens versus the Rams in the Super Bowl.
Let's see. Ravens and Eagles.
Damn, we were all off.
Final 4. Chiefs, Ravens, Eagles, and Lions. 3 of those teams didn't even make the playoffs.
I would say this, and I know Roger Goodell, Adam Silver. I get it. You want this. You want the unpredictability of a Super Bowl, of an NBA Finals. I get it, and I'm not a big fan, but I get it. I get it. It makes sense. It makes more fun. No one expected this Super Bowl. And I know we'll get into it, but I can see either of these teams winning. And I really can. I really could see any of these team winners. I know Seattle should be the favorite, but I don't know.
Let your friend help you out. Whatever the spread is for Seattle in about 2 weeks, hammer it. This is not going to be a pretty game.
You think it's not going to be close?
And we're going to talk. Let's dive into it.
Yeah, let's just go right into it.
Let's just dive into it. So the Seattle Seahawks defeated the Los Angeles Rams last night to make their first Super Bowl in 11 years. There are many layers to this one, Sean. John Schneider is the first general manager to make it to multiple Super Bowls with the team, despite not having a single coach or player on the roster from the last Super Bowl appearance.
Wow.
Sam Darnold is the first quarterback from the 2018 draft class to make the Super Bowl. That is the draft class that includes, to start in the Super Bowl. That is the draft class that includes Baker Mayfield. That is a draft class that includes Josh Allen. That is a draft class that includes Lamar Jackson. That's 2 MVPs and Baker Mayfield. No disrespect to Baker. This is also Sam Darnold's. I got one for you right here. Back-to-back 14-win seasons for Sam Darnold.
Damn. All right, I'll come on and I have to say it first because I was thinking about it this morning. I was like, all right, with pardon, I got to be real. I owe Sam Darnold an apology, even if he doesn't win the game. I thought he was just a flash in the pan with a lot of talent in Minnesota. He had a lot, and he does still have a lot of talent in Seattle. But at some point, when you put in a performance like he's had over the last 2 postseason games and winning at this clip. I gotta give him credit. What am I? That sounds like a hater. Now I understand when people are like, oh, when you have an opinion, you hating. No, I was just straight hating. He got his team to the Super Bowl. They're the clear favorites to get to the Super Bowl, and it's not because they're winning, just because the defense was not great last night against the Rams. Let's call a spade a spade. That defense is the best in football. Them and the Texans, but it wasn't great.
Oh, I got a lot to say about that.
Yeah, they wasn't great. So Sam Darnold was special last night. Matthew Stafford. It was a battle of the 2 quarterbacks, and he won. He outdueled them.
Yes, no running game.
No running game, nothing. Outdueled
no
them.
Defense.
Yes. Give him, you got to tip your cap. So he wins it. I'll never say anything negative about him. Even now, I have nothing negative to say about him. Unless he has a horrible Super Bowl performance. We'll get into it. I don't see that happening. He deserves all the credit. He deserves the money he's gotten. Geno Smith wanted it out of Seattle to go to Vegas. Well, one man's trash is another man's treasure, they said. And they get Sam Darnold and then the Super Bowl. Nah, I didn't believe this. I can't believe it. Like my shirt says, irrational faith. You need to have irrational faith or delusional faith to believe that Sam Darnold is in the Super Bowl before Baker, Lamar, and Josh Allen. Nah, John. We do this podcast for 4 or 5 years now. When we talked about in September our picks or August.
No, sir. This is year 6.
Year 6. This is coming up
on year 6.
Year 6. I never thought Sam Darnold would get to a Super Bowl before those guys. And yeah, and that was special performance last night. I have nothing else to say, but congrats to them.
Remind me to come back to the Vikings.
Yes. Damn.
Sean, what you say Sam Darnold didn't have yesterday? A defense or a running game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he just outdueled the MVP.
Yep.
I can't think of any other player but Lamar Jackson this morning, Sean. Because Lamar Jackson had this same defense 2 years ago. All he needed to do was score 18 points and would have gotten to the Super Bowl. He scored 10. This is what you were supposed to do in 2023. So it is official. I blamed him for that loss then. It is official now. Lamar Jackson is the reason the Ravens don't have a Super Bowl. Period.
Yeah.
Now, Sam Darnold wishes his defense played for him last night the way McDonald got the Ravens to play for him against Mahomes. What have I been saying the last 2 years, Sean? If you tell Joe Flacco he has to score 18 points against either Brady or Manning to go to the Super Bowl,
scoring 18.
He's going out drinking the night before because he just knows he's going to the bowl.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold's defense didn't show up. Sam Darnold was without his change of pace running back in Zach Charbonnet. So Kenny Gainwell, who has not been going at all this season, was the only guy to hand it off to, and he averaged a measly 3.3 yards per carry. And Sam Darnold still said, forget it. I'm going to go outduel the MVP. Y'all can stop talking to me about Lamar Jackson now. Everything I've been saying about that guy was proven correct last night. Everything. I don't think there's no way to refute what I'm saying right now, if you ask me. None. So, yeah. Good riddance. Minnesota. Y'all just can't get it right with the quarterbacks, huh? This has been a week of reckoning for Minnesota on that end. Well, it's been in the news. As you were talking about Mike Patton and Brian Flores in the group chat.
Yep.
Who the hell cares what Mike Patton has to say? I was talking about Kellen Mond's letter of how Minnesota made him depressed. And we have to go back to that era of the Vikings to understand what's so wrong about them right now. Mike Zimmer told his GM, I do not want Kirk Cousins. Can't win with. He was right. Then they used, what was it, a 4th-round pick on Kellen Mond or a 3rd-rounder?
3rd or 4th rounder, yeah.
And what did I say when he was coming out of A&M?
He wasn't that guy.
You're drafting a darker Kirk Cousins. Guess who else Zimmer said he didn't want? Kellen Mond. Didn't work out. Who did he wind up going to the NFC Championship with, Sean?
Who, Mike Zimmer?
Yeah.
Oh, they faced the Eagles, right?
Yeah, the backup bowl.
It was Nick Foles, and the game was a blowout. I can't remember who the quarterback was.
Case Keenum.
Oh, Case Keenum. Yes, it was a blowout, though. But I remember, yeah, Case Keenum.
So he's going to a NFC Championship with Case Keenum, and he's telling you who he cannot win with. I think you listen to that guy. Especially, this is definitely a belief of mine when it comes to football. If I got a defensive-minded head coach who's actually pretty damn good as a defensive coordinator, I might not trust him to tell me which quarterback can play, but I will believe him when he tells me which quarterback can't play.
Makes sense.
So y'all didn't listen. So now you fast forward. You get Sam Darnold and you win 14 games with him.
Mm-hmm.
And you let that walk out the door. But J. McCarthy, Sean's boy.
That's my guy.
J. McCarthy, who I'm telling y'all doesn't have it. Since he was at Michigan, I've been saying doesn't have it. And wherever you at with one of the most talented rosters in the NFC, definitely one of the more talented offenses, definitely one of the best scheme defenses. As little Anthony the Imperial said, on the outside looking in, while Sam's about to go win him a Lombardi trophy. So the Baltimore Ravens, no, my fault. Lamar Jackson, kiss my ass. The Vikings, you need a kick in the ass. Is there anyone else I can think of today? Because that game had there are a lot of people who look bad for that game last night, Sean. Kyle Shanahan. You can't do anything against Mike McDonald's defense. Especially back in 2023, when you let the Ravens come to San Fran to kick your butt on Christmas night for the whole world to see. And then 2 games this year where your team no-showed. You can't do anything about that defense. But Sean McVay, who learned under your daddy just like you, has been the biggest heavy for that defense for the last 2 years. What's the word, Kyle?
I would say Matthew Stafford, Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's definitely a good quarterback. I love Brock Purdy. But in the lack of weapons this year, I'll give him a pass this year. 49ers. The lack of weapons.
This year.
No, it's true.
Shanahan can't do anything against that defense. Period. That's the problem.
It is a problem with that. I have to say this about Minnesota. It looks like especially if he wins the Super Bowl, because it's hard to get one of those Super Bowls. Brady made it look easy, but it's really hard to get one. Peyton only had 2. It's hard to get one, especially if he wins one. It will go down as a big mistake because JJ, and I'm not over JJ or getting like he's still young. And like, look I think Sam Darnold was the poster child for this, him and Baker Mayfield. But especially if Sam wins the Super Bowl. These guys need time, especially the way they're coached in college now coming into the NFL. These guys need time to develop. They need the right system to develop.
Can we talk about the college days? Because you know, my older brother is the biggest Lamar Jackson fan, and I keep telling him, you're not a Ravens fan, you're a Lamar Jackson fan. He's very extreme with this fan, and we've been over this. It's a LeBron fan, so he doesn't know how to just be a normal fan. When I'm sitting here telling him what I just said about Lamar Jackson right here on the show, and I'm talking to him last night, then he's over here trying to make all these excuses, because Lamar Jackson's got Clint Kubiak calling plays. He's got JSN and Cooper Cup. Stop. I stopped him right there, and I said this. I said, buddy, Sam Darnold, who came from the Clay Helton era of USC, same draft class, got to the Super Bowl before him. There's nothing else you can say. Sean, the Clay Helton era. Do we not remember how bad those days were in Southern California?
No, it was bad. It
Do
was
we
really
not
bad.
remember how terrible of a coach Clay Helton was?
Yeah.
That's what Sam Darnold just came. Clay Helton and Adam Gase, your career's supposed to be done after that. Finito. Adam Gase with the Jets, nonetheless. That organization. And like a phoenix, he rose from the ashes. No excuse. No excuse.
I would say this though about Darnold and the talent around him and Baker. I do think Josh and I'm not going to say they're better than Josh and Lamar. No, like they're not. Those guys, but it's a prototypical like I think
They're better
about
winners. Well, Darnold is.
right now. Yeah, Mendoza, for example, coming out. He's a prototypical guy. You need to surround him with talent. There's certain guys who could play. Lamar could still have really good numbers without a lot of talent. Josh can have really good numbers without talent. I haven't seen Burrow without T. Higgins, whatever. But Burrow has that type of level. Mahomes, yes, they can still put up numbers and still win games. But this is my point. Not every quarterback is built equally, and certain quarterbacks, like those guys, need to have the talent around them. So I give them credit. They're doing it with the talent, but I don't think it's Sam Darnold didn't have Cooper Kupp or JNS. He would put or with Jefferson last year and Addison. No, let's be real. Let's be honest. Those type of quarterback, but they do. You don't negate the fact what they're doing with the talent, because I don't know if Geno Smith would be able to do this with this type of talent. You know what I'm saying? So I give him credit, but it's the right. Am I knocking them? I'm saying it's the right way to build around certain quarterbacks like that. You need to have talent around them.
That is a message to a Brandon Beane and an Eric DeCosta of, hey, stop relying on your quarterback to get you out of it.
Exactly. Build the talent around them. Yeah.
Build the talent around them.
Exactly.
Also, the Vikings are just, it's rough for them. Because I almost forgot about this one, Sean. They got rid of Darnold and Kubiak.
Yeah. They got rid of both of them. Even though,
if you're a Vikings fan, you're drinking and you're snowed in right now. You gotta be jerking yourself into depression. There's no way you aren't. It's just bad all around. The Vikings, y'all are in bad organization territory right now. Because this is bad decision making. Y'all, I look at the Ravens. You chose Harbaugh rather than promoting McDonald 2 years ago, and now you had to fire Harbaugh anyway, and McDonald's in the Super Bowl. Sean, I've been proven right about so many things this weekend, and one of them, we are in the worst era of front offices in the history of professional sports. Period. I think that was proven right this weekend. That is malpractice from the Baltimore Ravens and the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, listen, there's nothing to justify it. You had young Belichick, like I call him, Mike McDonald in your building. You let him go. I would have signed him and be like, hey, you'll be the coach in waiting or something like that. I don't know what I would have done, but he was too hot. He was not going to stay in Baltimore. And as he should, he built the right program the right way in Seattle. Getting Sam Darnold, bringing Clint Kubiak, he's hit that organization. And Snyder needs to get credit. They've drafted really well since the last few years. They've built a really good solid foundation. It's just a good organization. They've done really well. I'm really impressed how they built that team. And I understand what Darnold with the Vikings, but I think one thing I would say is the last couple games, last night, it wasn't because of the defense, but the genius of McDonald. I love Brian Flores, but there's levels to this, and McDonald's on a different level defensively and what they do defensively. Again, the Rams can score on them. The Rams, I was very impressed in that drive after the punt, the muffled punt, and how they drove down football. I was like, wow, that was impressive. That was surgical. The Rams offense can score on a lot of teams, but for the most part, that defense has been the best in football, along with Houston all year long.
And we got to talk about the Rams. And them and the Miami Hurricanes, same issues this season. Special teams.
Yeah. Cost them. You said it. You said it. You said it in the chat.
There are 3 phases to football.
Yeah.
Simple point. And someone brought up a point on Twitter last night, like he calls them the play callers. For some reason, their special teams are just awful. When he says the play callers, he's talking McVay, Shanahan, and Mike McDaniel. and I think there might be one more, but that group of coaches.
Sean Payton.
Like you have to. Why are we not addressing special teams? What's going on? So them and the Miami Hurricanes, that's priority number one this offseason. Fix your special teams unit. And, we keep seeing Chris Shula supposed to get a head coaching job. It's going to be Brandon Staley 2.0. I warned y'all back when Staley got a job, and I'm saying it now. All them names on that defense. But that defense what does it do?
It disappointing to see. I thought that defense would be it was a top 10 defense. It wasn't a top 5 with too much talent on that defense. They should have been better defensively. There's no question about it. Shula's gonna wrap around the league because he's part of the McVay tree. That's it.
And he's developed these guys into names, but they don't combine to form a unit that is, dominant.
No, that defense wasn't. It wasn't up to snuff this year, and they will have to. I think they have a Super Bowl offense. That offense is special. I think that's a Super Bowl level offense. And I think Stafford. Let's not do a Aaron Rodgers thing. He's coming back next year. You don't come off an MVP season, lose an NFC Championship game, and not come back with Adams, who 0-5 in conference championship games. Woo! Oh, I will be crying my eyes to sleep.
And at that point, it's like, man, can't blame you, but when your career is over with, you're going to be saying to yourself, I should have been the one to make the play in one of those games.
5 times.
You're one of them receivers, right? You gotta be the guy to make the play eventually.
You got to make the play. But yeah, I think the Rams are like, if we were to do a not too early top 25 like they do in the NFL, the NCAA college football, the Rams will be in the top 2 or 3 in the NFC for me next year. Again, I think they have that much talent. It's just they have to figure. And I have trust in Snead and McVay in them. They have to figure out what it is on defense. If they miss an impact linebacker, another corner, something, they got to figure something out. It's just because that's too much talent. And also, they kicked them. They shot themselves in the foot when they lost to Seattle. I think week 12, 13, late in the season, when they could have had home field advantage instead of going to the 12s. It's hard to play in Seattle. They're playing good football. Again, they didn't play their brand of style of football. It showed me, hey, this is a championship level team because they can play any style of football. And they won. I gotta give them credit. I was very, very impressed. It's one of the most impressive runs to a Super Bowl I've seen in a long time from a team that at the beginning of the year, I didn't think they would compete with the Rams. Because again, I didn't know what Darnold could do. And Kubiak, again, Brady was praising that guy so much yesterday during the broadcast. He'll be the coach of the next Las Vegas Raiders, which I think it will be good because I think Mendoza is more of those guys, the Darnolds, the Mayfields, those type of quarterbacks. I don't think he is a Allen, Lamar, Burrow type of quarterback. Should he be number 1? Absolutely. But you need to build around talent around him and the right system around him.
And Kubiak will develop him. That's something.
It's simple as that.
All right, we've done enough talking about the NFC game. In the AFC, the New England Patriots rolled the easiest strength of schedule. Plus, Greg Roman, C.J. Stroud, and Jarrett Stidham in the playoffs to an AFC championship and a Super Bowl appearance. I guess they took care of business.
Yeah, so I did text the group chat last night. That strength of schedule stuff, I'm throwing out the water now because one of my favorite teams of all time, the Rams, the 1999 Rams, had the easiest strength of schedule of all time. And they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC Championship with a backup quarterback. Done. And it's one of my favorite teams, one of our favorite teams. I don't want to hear about it. And then the second team with the sickest easiest schedule to make a Super Bowl was the 91 Bills, who lost by wide left to the Giants. I don't want to hear about the strength of schedule. So that's 1. 2, they have not been impressive. That's why they're going to be extreme underdogs in most people who know football's opinion. My people back home, this is the 2001 Patriots again. Cool. Maybe. But that offense has
that offense look putrid.
Historically bad.
They have just gotten historically lucky to play the offenses that they have.
Yeah.
And shout out to that defense because you got to do your part,
They're
right?
doing well.
I mean, we saw. I was there in person. Zach Orr's defense made New England look like the hottest thing since the 8-track, but it's not going to be close. And they're going to play a first place schedule next year. We'll see how much money they have to go fill into some teams, but like
they're a young team.
We start talking about those teams that are going to fall off the next season.
Oh yeah,
New England's one of them for me. They probably not as bad as the Commanders, and Jaden Daniels' injury kind of exaggerated the Commanders' fall off, but they were going to fall off regardless. But that's going to be them next year.
I say this about the Patriots: they peaked a year early, and because there's still a lot of young talent on that team. And May is only 23. He's in the second year, and he has showed he did play better this year. So, but they peaked a little early. I don't see because remember that division, Miami's going to be trash, and the Jets are going to be trash. So that's 3 or 4
wins.
Yeah, right there. So, do I see a drop off to not making a postseason? No, they'll probably be. But can I see Buffalo passing them again next year? Yeah, I can. But they're definitely they peaked a year early. But this the talents, and they have the culture there, which is key. They have culture. But yeah, it's the worst offensive performance I've seen of a team going to the Super Bowl. If they win the Super Bowl, this would be the worst team I've ever seen win a Super Bowl. The worst team I've ever seen in my lifetime was that Giants team that beat the Patriots. That team wasn't good throughout the year. And the 2017, the undefeated team, they were not good. I understand they wanted to run, and the title counts, but that was the worst team I ever seen win a Super Bowl.
The Bostonian crapping on Eli Manning.
No.
Crapping on Eli Manning.
What's the worst team? What's the worst team you ever seen win a Super Bowl? There's always going to be one team that you've seen.
It's not the 2012 Giants. All right, let's go back through the years then.
2012 Giants,
not the Chiefs, not the Rams, not those Eagles,
not the Eagles that won the 2000 that beat the Patriots the second time,
not the Ravens, not the Seahawks. That Broncos team, that offense was garbage.
That team, that team's in the running.
When Manning's neck went out, that team's in the running.
That team's in the running.
Not that era of the Patriots. Not those Giants. Yeah, in my lifetime, it probably comes down to the 15 Broncos.
Yep.
The 07 Giants.
Yep.
And I mean, listen, love what that defense did. Best defense of all time. But our first Super Bowl in Baltimore, goodness gracious. That offense was just.
But that defense was so.
Jamal Lewis. But that defense was just historic.
It's historic.
If not for Jamal Lewis and Shannon Sharp on that offense and Jermaine Lewis on that special teams, because we saw what happened the next year when Jamal Lewis tore his ACL.
Yeah, it was the worst offense prior to
and then it was going back and forth between Chris Redmond, Elvis Gerbeck, and Tony Banks. Oh boy,
Tony Banks.
Yeah.
That offense is historic. Probably the worst offense I've seen. But just team wise, if the Patriots pull off the upset, they'll be the worst team I've ever seen win a Super Bowl.
Those Ravens teams proved that Brian Billick was just a Randy Moss merchant. By the way,
yeah.
Too many people forget Brian Billick was the Vikings offensive coordinator with Culpepper, Carter, and Moss. That's what got him the Ravens job. And the Ravens never had a good offense under Brian Billick. Like,
crazy.
That is one of the most underwhelming coaches of all time. Coaches does not get talked about in that category enough because he walked into such a historic defense.
Yeah, exactly. But this was his I always believe your expertise should translate to your team, and that was the complete opposite. Did not add up with him. And actually, I gotta say something. I'm in Atlanta right now. We gotta call up the Falcons. You interview Vrabel, you interview McDonald, you interview Belichick, and you choose Raheem Morris. that's disgusting. Just those three names alone. You pass on all three of those names.
The 2 Super Bowl coaches.
Come on, think about that. You let all three of them come to your building downtown Atlanta, and all three left, and you took Raheem Morris? Come on, man. Come on. That doesn't make sense. That's horrible.
But so we do believe in fairness on this podcast, though, right?
Go ahead.
Were we or were we not the ones when they first let Morris walk out the door?
He should have kept the job.
We said they were wrong for that.
He should have kept the job.
And when they were thinking of bringing him back, because I think did Morris win the ball as the Rams defensive coordinator?
Yep, the 2022 team.
Yeah, so then they win the bowl. We had no problem with them bringing him back. So, in fair, at that time, that just seemed like the move to make.
At the time, so, not going back to Minnesota seemed like the move to make.
I can't say that.
I thought. Again, I'll speak for myself.
So, just like my thing is, let's not be that show that is completely hindsight and forget what the reality was at that time. That's all.
I don't know if I was 100% because that's a couple years ago, but would I have passed on Belichick over him? No. Over what I've took it Morris over Belichick, yes, at the time, excuse me, because of what Belichick was coming off of and if he wanted control. So I would took that
at the time.
And Rabel at the time. But again, you have to, it doesn't matter. Like, I understand what you're saying. Like, we can't just be like, oh, yeah, I agree. Morris had his chance. But it still stings as you put that list of teams in that first segment. Atlanta has to be on it because you let three guys go.
And it hurts that Mike McDonald's from Georgia played that Centennial, a powerhouse program in Georgia, and was a GA at UGA.
It can make sense. It stings, but Arthur Blank needs to look in the mirror and be like, damn, I effed that up. I gotta be real.
Decision making ain't been too hot in the years. Yeah, I'm be honest with you. I gotta do it. I'm adding 2 more teams to the list, Sean, and 2 more franchises. You know what list I'm talking about. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh man, Pittsburgh
will not become who they need to become until their ownership goes on the board. Yeah. Hate to see it. Gotta add them to the list. I got to come up with a name for that list.
You gotta come up with a name, yeah.
I'm thinking I'm torn between either the funeral home or the cemetery. Because they're not going to be good until their owners end up in one of those 2 places. So
I should just say call us a nicer getting calls home or something. Like that sounds way more nicer than the funeral home.
It's the truth though.
I know.
We're gonna call it the other side of Zion. That's what we're gonna call that.
I'll call it
the
that.
Other side of Zion.
Yeah, I like that list. I like that name. Yeah, man, that's just Arthur. I like what Arthur did because I watch a lot of documentaries about businessmen and what he did about building Home Depot, but he's been over his head with the Falcons.
And them Falcons fans really ain't happy about Stefanski, man. Y'all know they love the Sanders family down there. You gonna hire a man that did Shador like that? He down there in Atlanta.
I don't understand what made him a quick rehash of a coach. Even like I gotta be honest, him I think would have been good being an OC for a couple years, building himself back up. Raheem Morris, he might get the job in Arizona, but I don't get what these guys get jobs immediately like that. I just don't. Sit down, go be a DC, build yourself back up, and come back in. That's just my personal opinion.
But New England, they're going to go 5-1 in the division next year. They play the first place schedule, so that is Jacksonville, Pittsburgh, and Denver. Denver's going to get their lift back, so that's 5-2.
Whoa. I would say this. All those 3 of those teams are subject, and we'll talk about it in the summer.
That's it all season.
Yeah, are subject to taking steps back because a lot of those teams won close games.
Yeah,
and
so
you know how I feel about that.
I would say as of right now, I would say 5-1 in the division and 1-2 against the first place teams. barring any offseason changes. I think in a regular season game, Jacksonville and Denver would get them. But they smoked Pittsburgh. And New England's been owning Pittsburgh for how long now, Sean? I mean, that's not even possible. So that's 6-3 off the rip. Before you even get into what are your divisional matchups for next year? And I believe it's AFC West and the NFC North. So let's see who they'll beat in the West next year. Kansas City, 7-3. We already saw what they did to the Chargers. 8-3. Oh, but Mike McDaniel over there might change things. So I'll put that on the burn.
Yeah, wait and see. Wait and
see. So 7-3. They'll beat the Raiders. That's 8-3. Damn, I think every team in the NFC North is waiting to see. So hey, playoffs might be on the table.
So
but there is also a world where, that's a world where they could win the division again. But there's also a world where they could be fighting for the last wild card spot.
You don't think May approves?
I think the team has to improve around
him. Okay. It could be a one-off year, like Stroud and those guys, yeah.
And when you start winning, the film starts coming out.
Yep, tendencies, everything like that. He's got to improve as a passer. These last 3 weeks, he's been bad. This team.
He has not been special to me in these 2 seasons. He just has not.
He has special moments, but yeah, I don't see the guy. Like I see a guy who could develop into the guy, but I don't see like, oh my gosh, this guy is the next one over there. Like especially in the AFC. Let's put this out here right now. I'm gonna say it. I'm pretty sure. Again, I never thought Sam Darnold was going to the Super Bowl, so I'm never gonna say never about it. I'm pretty sure Josh, Lamar, Joe, and Mahomes, because they say Mahomes is tracking for week 1. I don't think all 4 of those guys. I think at least 2 of the 4 make the postseason next season, and the teams are better. Especially Baltimore should dominate that division. That division should be all Baltimore.
Can we talk about it real quick? Just real quick. Jesse Minter, good brother. I hate to put these expectations on you.
Oh, it's the next subject. Let's talk about it.
But boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'll do the read-in. I got you. All right. So there are some familiar faces and some reunions going on in the NFL. Jesse Minter, who was in Baltimore from 2017 to 2020 before going to work for John Harbaugh's brother, Jim, with the Chargers for the last few years. He's now the head coach in Baltimore. Him and Mike McDonald run almost the exact same defense. So the Ravens are somewhat amending their mistake. But there's still more to talk about there. The Chiefs, who have not looked the same since losing the brother man and replacing him with the other man, have brought the brother man home. Eric Bieniemy is back to Kansas City. Shout out to that brother. He should have never had to leave, but his hand was forced. Everybody kept using that BS line of you don't call the plays in his head coaching interviews, so he had to leave to go somewhere else. I'm glad he's back. And the Steelers, who all of a sudden love Aaron Rodgers, are so desperate to do anything to keep him and avoid a full-on rebuild that they have hired Rodgers' old coach in Green Bay, Mike McCarthy, to return to the National Football League as a head coach. Whew. But Sean, we introduced this segment because we were talking about Jesse Minter. Buddy, I hate to say it. He's got first-year Super Bowl expectations.
Absolutely. That's Super Bowl.
And that's unfair for any first-year coach. But I look at the AFC North and the rest of the AFC and how underwhelming it is. And how the Ravens tore through that conference with your defense. You have to make the hire at offensive coordinator and go win it. And I don't think Kingsbury's the answer. I wanted Clint Kubiak, as head coach for the Ravens. Look at that team. Now look at, last night I saw a play calling masterclass. Justin's touchdown where he just got lost
Yeah.
And when a player that good always gets lost, you ask how the hell does that happen? Well, the replay showed a beautiful bunch formation. They went stack against the oh man, it was beautiful. A zig route and a corner route to occupy the safety. No, post route, excuse me, to occupy the safety. Zig route to occupy the flat corner. And then JSN runs a delayed corner route. And by the time the flat corner picks up on it, you can't drop back in time to get to it. JSN's wide open for touchdown in the left corner of the end zone. Beautiful play call. Beautiful play call. Whoever is Clint Kubiak's top assistant and can bring that offense over needs to be OC for the Ravens.
I think it's trending to Clint.
Cliff Kingsbury. I just don't like it. Because I need someone who can be creative with the run game, which the Ravens just are not.
No.
And just draw concepts out the wazoo with those receivers that just are not that great, but have ability.
I would say this. I do think that I don't see Cliff Kingsbury being out of football this year. That's one. So he's going to get one of his OC jobs.
The Eagles need to sell out for him.
Yeah,
you lost McDaniel. You lost out on McDaniel. You need to sell out for Kingsbury.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great stepping stone for him to get either of those jobs to get his next. He's going to get a head coaching job in this next cycle within the next 2 years. But I do think that Minter should have Super Bowl expectation because that was the best job available, and everybody said it was the best job available because of the talent around them. And you got Lamar Jackson, who's a 2-time MVP. I don't look at McDonald came in 2 years. He's in the Super Bowl. Those are the expectations of that, and he didn't have the talent that is in Baltimore. So no, the expectations in year one is you get to the Super Bowl. Again, is it going to happen? I don't know, but it's a lot of turnover in the AFC. I don't see why not. The AFC is so wide open. NFC is the better conference right now with the more top tier talent, but the wide open conference is the AFC, and that division is wide open. There's no question the Ravens are the best team in that division. There's no question they should be 1 or 2 seed in the AFC. There's no question the path to the Super Bowl should go to Baltimore next year, just based off of, and that's before we even see what they do in the offseason.
Yeah.
That's pressure. But he's got
an offseason ahead of him though, because they have to re-sign LeBron. They have to re-sign Ricard. They have to re-sign Jordan Stout. They have to re-sign Isaiah Likely. Like they've got some contracts that they need to bring back. But Lamar Jackson has to sign his extension before they can really do any of it. So Lamar Jackson, I say it again, you're the reason they don't have a Super Bowl. You need to show you're dedicated to one this offseason, which means get your extension signed before the start of the new year and take your ass to OTAs this year. If he doesn't go to OTAs this year with the new OC, Sean, I got nothing to say.
Yeah.
Brand new coaching staff, period. Got nothing to say. Nothing.
I got to be honest about the OTAs. I remember Brady went 16, 17 years straight until him and Belichick had that falling out. I was watching a documentary. He didn't have to do that after year 5, 6, 7, 8. He kept. I don't want to say my guys. Kept doing. Why? You're the leader. You're the face. You're the franchise. It's only 3 days, right?
Oh, forget all that, Sean. You ain't Tom Brady.
True.
It's that simple.
No, but my point is, it's follow his blueprint. If that's what he did, that's what I'm doing.
Like if he did it, why do you think you don't need to do it?
Simple as that. Yeah, if he did it, and he was in year 16 at the time, already accomplished, already being the guy. So yeah, I do agree that Jackson needs to immerse himself with this new coaching staff. He needs to immerse himself and be from the jump. The reason the Baltimore Ravens were not in the postseason is because they started off slow. They were 1-5. You predicted they were going to be 1-5 at the beginning of the year. They need a 1-4. Okay.
I see 1-5. That was Lamar's injury, but I told you. That's why I don't want to hear the slow start excuse, because I told y'all before the season, healthy or not, they were going to start the year 1-4.
You did call it out. They need a better start this year, but too much talent that we don't. Everybody says that's the best job. That's the best job. I mean, that's even including with, I think, the second best quarterback in the league, Josh Allen's. I'd rather take the Baltimore job over the Buffalo Bills job. Too much talent. The pressure's on. So regarding McCarthy, again, what I text you guys in the group chat, I was like, Pittsburgh need to move on from Tomlin. They need to restart. This is a move that you think you could still compete, and you want to go 9-8 next year, or you want to go 8-9 or 10-7. That's not good enough with what you have. Pittsburgh needs. The Rooneys have been a amazing family for the NFL and what they've done for the NFL. But sometimes the game could pass you by. You could be like a little bit delusional. Sometimes you got to sit back and like, these we're just mediocre. And what do you ever say about being in the middle? You got to be able to take the next, and you win in divisions, titles. I don't care about any of that. We're not a legitimate threat, and you're not a legitimate threat because you haven't hit on the quarterback. Maybe you go one more year, and with Rodgers, I don't see what the point. That's 9-8. That's 10-7 maybe with some breaks here and there, and that's a first round loss. They needed the young hot kid on the block who is going to take over and be like, we're running it completely different. Very disappointing that hire. Mike McCarthy could have got any other job, but not the Steelers job. I just didn't like it. I hated it. Probably the worst hire I've seen so far.
We got to get the rights to use. There's a song that just came into my mind. You know how we talk about it. Alexander O'Neal, 1993, in the middle. You know, I don't understand the middleman.
Yeah,
exactly what he said. Some people like it in the middle. They got no shame. Sometimes the one who's in the middle gets no love. That sums up what we've been saying perfectly. What does the middle get you?
You know what they're starting to turn into, but not in NBA terms. You know, the Chicago Bulls. It's delusional. I don't mean they make the playoffs. Who cares about making the playoffs? Like making the play-in. Who cares? It's delusional. It's irrational. Like my shirt. It's irrational. It does not make sense what's going on in Pittsburgh. Anyone can see it with a blind. Stevie Wonder could see it. Like that team needs a fresh rebuild. Like, what are you doing? Oh man, I was so disappointed in that. I would have hired. You know what? I would have hired the defensive coordinator from Weaver. I would have hired Weaver. That would have been my guy.
Nah, they got Flores. I'd have brought Flores in, but because at least he's got familiarity with the organization. You was just preaching like that was a sermon. I dare you to stink face, the way, glory, and all that stuff, bro. Like, oh man,
enough's enough. Enough's enough in Pittsburgh, Chicago, those organizations, man. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, yeah, because Chicago's damn sure on the other side of the signing list. Yeah. The Bulls on the right side. Woo.
I think they'll be the first. Yeah, I think they're first because they own that guy. Delusional. Delusional. When I saw him on The Last Dance talking about Krause, I'm thinking that's your organization. You think I would have let Krause pick? Yo, I just gotta go on this little rant.
You fired Jerry Krause before you let him push Phil Jackson, Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, and then drive it out. Come on, man.
Yo, I would have told Bill Belichick, here, if I was Robert Kraft, you can go. I would have promoted Josh McDaniels to be the head coach before I let Tom Brady walk out the door. That just doesn't make sense to me. You don't do that stuff. It don't make sense. Man, I'm just telling you, I need some billions, guy. Please.
Bless Sean. You know how I want us to do it too? I want us to buy a team in a city that's got all the teams. Major League Baseball, NHL, NBA, NFL, and Major League Soccer. So I want a team in a city that's got all five.
All five.
I want to buy one team, build them up, and then buy the next. And then buy the next.
Buy the whole
team. And then buy the next. I want to have a monopoly on that town and make it Title Town, USA.
So we're talking New York. We're talking Miami. We're talking the big cities.
Yeah.
We ain't talking. We're not talking. We ain't talking Kansas City.
I got money. I ain't living in KC. Nah. Because So you gotta think when we host the championship parade, once parade over, we gotta go somewhere to party in. You know what I mean?
Facts. No disrespect to OKC or something like that. Great
No
places, but
disrespect.
yeah, but
Hey man, Sean, I kind of like it. Like we can.
oh yes,
Hey,
yes.
I can relocate. Yeah, we can be in LA. You can stay put. We can move
I'll
the
say right
family
there.
down and everything.
I love what you're thinking because Atlanta's professional sports team, I feel like they're underutilized. I think Atlanta could be one of those cities. You know how we talk about New York, Boston, it has the foundation. It just doesn't have the
That needs the right
organization.
people.
Yeah, they know the right people to take
Hey,
over the organization.
we can make somebody. Listen,
I would
Sean,
love
I
to.
can
I'll
make
be
people
here.
care about the Hawks.
Absolutely.
I can make people care about the Hawks.
Absolutely. This should be a destination city. Destination city, state, easily. And
I'm be honest with you, Sean.
It's not.
I kind of like the idea of Atlanta's so big.
It's huge.
Spread the teams out.
What do you mean?
You got the Braves in their own part of town.
They are. Yep. I see what you're saying. Yep.
I'd have the Falcons in their own part. Then I'd have the Hawks in their own part. And then I'd have oh, you gotta add a hockey team. And that's probably
Nah, they had the Thrashers and they got them out of here. They played all the way up in Norcross. They got them out of here. Which this is my only thing, and I would say this, and you're probably gonna push back. The Florida Panthers are amazing. I'm not a big advocate of
hockey in warm cities. Yeah, no.
I'm not a big fan. I wouldn't buy a hockey team.
Everybody was doing all that crying about what is the the Arizona Coyotes or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm happy they moved it. They moved
Utah.
to Utah, right?
Perfect
I'm
place.
happy about that.
Exactly. Like I would do that. We're gonna be like Ryan Smith, the owner of the Jazz and the hockey team. If they had a football team, he would own the football team.
Yeah, I got another one for you. The Jazz, that name needs to change. That name is from your days in New Orleans. What jazz club is in Salt Lake City?
Probably none.
Come on, that's white Mormons in Salt Lake. They ain't got nothing to do with jazz, man.
Yeah. They gotta switch it up. They should switch it up. And no one's a city that would be. They just don't have a hockey team. I think New Orleans could be a good sports town. It's just the Bensons own them. I'm not really a big fan.
It's just what I say when LSU is going for its coaching search. You're born in Louisiana. You are groomed and led to believe your life's purpose is to serve the Louisiana State University.
That's it.
So you don't. It's just hard.
It's hard.
The team in New Orleans. Man.
That's the team. Yeah, everything's around LSU, and it's like LSU's up here, and it's like that's how I feel about Georgia Bulldogs. It's all the way up here, and then the Falcons are here. It's different. And Atlanta has the bones to be a great sports town. It's just not.
But hey, real quick on the Chiefs though, the offense hasn't looked the same since he left. I think if they're going to save their window, this was a pretty damn good move to make.
I like the move, and I think he should stay and make your money. And it's what it is. Like sometimes the grass is not green on the other side. He had to leave, but he came back. Right move. And this should be an indictment on Nagy. They moved off of Nagy. He's not going to be a head coach in this cycle.
He's probably not going to be an OC in this.
Not even OC. That's an indictment on him because he was Andy's guy.
He's never been that guy. Sean, what's going on in Oxford?
All right, so ruthless Pete Golden. So Pete Golden is accused of tampering with Luke Farrelly, the linebacker from Cal, who switched over to Clemson and then left Clemson after being enrolled to go to Ole Miss. And I have to give, I'm not a Dabble guy, but his press conference and the AD, I watched the hour of that. That was impressive, and I was all for Dabble. What's your thoughts on the situation?
Yeah, stop crying about tampering if you're not going to call out the coach. Oh, I ain't going to say nothing. I ain't going to snitch, but you know who you are. Stop that. Call them out.
Call them out.
Put them out there. If not, shut the hell up. And I can tell you right now, firsthand knowledge, Dabo's not making this stuff up. Pete Golding is down there being ruthless and spending his money. We got tipped off about 2 weeks ago. Syracuse had landed Michael Smith from South Carolina, former 4-star tight end, Started 7 games as a true freshman. Got hurt and missed spring practice for the 25 season. Lost the starting job. Left the team in October. Right? Syracuse needed a tight end, losing Dan Villari. They signed him. Next thing you know, friends on the phone with Pete Golding negotiating a buyout for Michael Smith. Michael Smith had already signed his revenue sharing deal with Syracuse. Next thing you know, Fran Brown is on the phone with Pete Golding negotiating a buyout. Derrick Gill Jr. had no intentions on leaving Syracuse. None at all. Pete Golding and his staff are one of the many that reached out to the Renaults and Master Sports Management saying, hey, we got some money for that kid. Y'all can just get it through to him. Then he needs to enter the portal. That's exactly what happened. And he winds up in Oxford. Matter of fact, for some reason, Ole Miss just like Syracuse, because then they also got Jonte Cook in the portal. They took Syracuse's top 2 receivers from 2025, plus the tight end that was supposed to come in and save them in 2026. Hey, Fran better than me. I'm not negotiating a buyout with Pete Golding. You just took my whole passing offense for next year. No, it's not happening. But yes, he is spending money, and he is doing whatever he needs to do to get these kids. Farrelly was in classes already at Clemson, Sean.
Yeah.
And then you got the agent saying, and these agents are also shiesty too. If you give us an extra $1 million, we'll hand over what Golding has been offering to help you build a tampering case. What type of shakedown? Oh man, it's bad, man. This is bad.
But what's the solution?
What's the enforcement in California? Yeah,
what's the solution?
The NCAA needs to. It's that simple. Everyone who is a part of you is a member organization they have chosen to be, which means enforce your rules. Start getting out some real punishment. Hey, CFP committee, they don't get in. No, they don't get in. I don't know what else you can do though, because then everything goes to court, and now you can find a court that will. You can find a judge that went to your school, and he'll issue a ruling in your favor. Now, that's what we're doing. It is officially gotten to the point where Congress does have to be the supreme law of the land. And fix this, because this is ridiculous, man.
It has to,
and it's as simple as this: collective bargaining. It's the only way to go. You have to have the papers. You have to have the athletes sign on paper that they agree to these rules and are subject to the punishments that come with violating these rules. Collective bargaining is the only way to go. Does that mean the athletes become employees? Yeah, but guess what? They should be. Sean, when I was program director of WHIP radio at Temple University and assistant sports editor of Temple News, guess what? I was a student, but I was technically classified as an employee of the university.
Makes sense.
That needs to be the case for these kids.
It makes sense.
If the student media classifies as employees of the university, the athletes damn sure should be classified as employees of the university. Simple and plain.
I think, first of all, I don't know why that hasn't happened. Second of all, it just it makes sense. Third of all, he's not the only one doing it. And like you said, Dabo's going to turn him in. But if there's no punishment, I'm going to keep doing it.
Oh, he's not the only one doing it. Boy, I got you right here. Spring of 2023. As soon as Aaron stepped down at Temple on the basketball side, McKee that is, UTEP was on the phone with Zach Hicks. Got $60,000 in a car for you before Zach had even entered the transfer portal.
I believe it.
Damian Dunn, before he entered the transfer portal, schools reaching out. Hey man, you got that baby on the way. Got your girlfriend. Listen, We got department and some NIL money for you. What's the word?
I'm taking that money. I'm going. Like, I get it. I think that, yeah, it's just too much. I think people buying teams, people, it's like, it's not. It's the wild, wild west. Is something's got to happen. Someone's got to. Agree. We don't usually want Congress to get involved, but there needs to be a Congress. Congress needs to get involved. They need to appoint a commissioner. Everybody's saying it's Nick Saban. I don't care who it is, but they need to appoint someone as a commissioner.
No, you do Nick Saban. That's the end of the group of 5, and everything's going to revolve around the SEC. Oh man, the Big Ten's got an unfair advantage now because before money, kids down south wouldn't even dream of going up north. Now they can get everybody in the country.
Nick, yeah, you need to shut up with that.
If you can't do enough to keep your in-state talent in your state, that's on you.
That's a you problem. Yeah,
if you are in Alabama and you can't keep the best kid in Mobile in Alabama,
that's on you.
That's on the head coaches of the University of Alabama and Auburn University. That's simple.
Easy, but yeah, I just think it's not. What I saw yesterday, my guy. I do like Lane Kiffin. Forget the hat. I love Lane Kiffin, but he was sitting next to Jordan Seaton on a Mercedes. That's just the way it is nowadays. Until it's changed, I would never see a coach do that before. It's 15 years ago, 20 years ago. It's like it's just kind of what it is nowadays, and I think it's a dog-eat-dog world.
Oh, that's not the recruiting business. Sean, Fran's got some dealership that he calls that rolls in all the expensive cars they can for these kids' visits and take the pictures with them. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know how they get those cars into the. I think they drive them to the dome, not practice. They find some entrance. I think I know the entrance actually. Yeah, they drive the cars through the service entrance at the JMA Dome. Y'all know what is the Carrier Dome, and set up shop for the pictures. Like, so I'm talking. They'll be setting up for a basketball game. I lied to you not. I went and covered one of the women's basketball games against I think Virginia Tech when I got back from Baltimore. I think that's the north end zone they play the basketball games on. The court's right there. Then they got like a little temporary stand that they put up right under the Titantron. And that is the other side of the audience or whatever. On the other side is 50 yards of football field.
Yeah.
And they literally have it blocked off with some of the cars in there for the photo shoot for the transfer recruits that they're hosting.
Crazy. I thought I would never see a day like this in college sports, but it's gotten out of hand. Again, I never thought I would want Republicans and Democrats to determine something in our sports, but it needs to be. It's going to even get worse. The money's going to get higher. More billionaires are going to get involved in certain schools. It's going to get worse.
All right, Sean, we're talking about college. We've never done this on this show. And we're not going to put the list together just yet. We'll save it for when the preseason ballot does come out. But we are going to discuss a way too early top 25 because with the transfer portal being a thing now, it is a much easier discussion to have of who's going to be the team to watch next season in January. Sean, we had a list of teams in the group chat. We can talk about the way too early top 25. Who are you looking at?
I love what Indiana did in the portal early. Ohio State's going to be. They're losing a lot on defense, though. I don't know what they've replaced it with, but they're losing a lot of guys to the league next year. But
and Arthur Smith's going to be the OC.
I didn't like that. Oh, gosh,
I know it's coming over from the NFL, but Ohio State, we know y'all for airing that thing out these days. And Arthur Smith has never been able to do that.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. I don't like that. I don't like that move at all. But Indiana, just right now off the top of my head, Indiana, I love what LSU's done. Getting the defensive end, getting Seaton, getting Levitt. and I'm a big Lane Kiffin guy, so I like what LSU. I love what Texas has done, getting some receivers around Arch. I expect a big year from Texas. Texas Tech and Notre Dame has been solid. Notre Dame has been so. Those are my teams I'm looking on the lookout for. This is a way too early top 25. We're picking on just the teams that what they've done in the transfer portal, also what they're bringing back. Is that what we're kind of going off of?
Yeah, who they bringing back and who they added. For me, so Miami got the defensive end out of Missouri. If they can get over the legal hurdles and get, Darian Minson, Cooper Barkate, again, more tampering, which we've already discussed on here. It's going to be hard to leave them out of my top 10. Texas has no excuse not to have the best offense in the country next year. Zero whatsoever. Texas Tech is going to be what Indiana was this year. I can see that being Texas Tech next year. Like, they put a team together. They finally reached the upper echelon, but you had to learn from it. They'll be back. And I think Texas Tech got Sorsby out of Cincinnati, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Indiana, no issue. Ole Miss, best team money can buy, I guess, next to Texas and Texas Tech. Oregon's going to be just fine. I think BYU being able to stack off the year they had last year, they just keep getting closer. Had a damn good 24. Missed the playoff by this much in 25. 26 is going to be a good year in Brigham Young. Bear Bachmeier is going to be, and they did all that with true freshmen this year.
Yeah, which is crazy.
They're going to be just fine in 26. Ohio State, I think that offense, as long as Jeremiah Smith's still there, they'll be good. Oklahoma, I think we saw the start that John Mateer got off to before he got injured. A year of learning, a year of experience. Probably a little pissed off at the way they lost the Alabama game on literally one play, and then everything went downhill after that. I like OU. I think Texas A&M, another year. In Georgia. I think all those teams, to me, are in the mix. It's going to be very hard to fill out a preseason top 10. Those teams will all, for sure, be in the preseason top 15, but I don't know who you trim it down to for 10.
Who do you think will be, if you have right now, your number one team going into the season?
Texas.
Yeah.
I haven't even been able to think of any other team. But as of right now, like, Texas gets number one on my preseason poll.
Yeah, they went crazy. This is Archer's last year there. Well, he could go back 2 more years, but I doubt he stays another 2 years. Who knows? But Ole Miss is going crazy. Ole Miss, I like that they're taking that momentum from last year and like we're not done just because Lane's gone. I love that. I really do. You got to be able to stay on. And then Chamberlain might come back to school, right?
He should. He'll be the number 2 quarterback in this draft.
Yeah, I don't get why he would go back to school unless he'll play. Is he first round talent? Probably not, but I think he can be a high second, and he'll be in the plans to be the quarterback of the future for some team.
Had he gone to the Senior Bowl or the Shrine Bowl and had a great week, he'd have been fine.
Yeah, I don't get why he wants to go back to school. Like,
well, hey, you heard Carson Beck. These kids don't even have classes anymore. Sure.
And the money you're getting, what, $5 million? Yeah, I get it, but I still think I do not see, and I can be wrong.
I got one for you, Sean. You should not be able to be a college athlete if you're not in class.
Yeah, that's simple.
You cannot play college football if you're not taking college classes.
Exactly.
I don't care if you better be working towards your master's or your doctor's.
Yeah, you got to be taking some type of classes. But I think he would. What's coming out next year? Not just the quarterback position. There's a lot of talent. Smith can be available next year. It's going to be a lot of talent coming out. You have a chance to go in the first round this year. I would go out in this draft. He's 23 years old, I think. What are we doing? 22, 23 years old. What are we doing? But keep going.
That's all. And LSU will probably be in my top 15, but not just putting them in the top 10 just for the sake of it. You got the choking that they've done the last 2 years, plus Lane Kiffin, who can set anything on fire.
Yeah, you don't like Lane, man. I love Lane.
I ain't falling for that. You're one of the very few people on earth that is a Lane Kiffin fan.
His personality is not the best. He's not for everybody, but I think the boy he comes. Look what he did to Ole Miss. Like that's not Pete Golden's team that went to the Final Four. That was Lane Kiffin's team.
I don't think they make it that far with Lane. Ooh. I think Pete that might have been Lane's roster.
It is.
Pete coached them better to me. I think Lane's just got to Lane. I think Lane has a bone in his body that just prevents him from winning the big game. Me personally.
I get that, but that coaching staff, that OC and stuff, that's Lane's guy. He's going to LSU. That was Lane's coaching staff.
Hey, respect to that.
Okay, I'm just being real.
You're right. It's there's only so much distaste that I can express. No, then something got to be honest. Yeah, no, you're right. All right, 2 quick ones before we get out of here. We got bad news for Tua Tagovailoa. He's got the Packers front office is running Miami now, essentially, and we know their strategy: draft a quarterback every year. And he just got benched. So I don't think we got many sunny South Florida days ahead for Tua Tagovailoa.
A divorce is pending. Love the approach by the new front office because that would be my approach until I find the guy. Because look at Seattle, they had Geno over Sam Darnold. They would not be in the Super Bowl. You got to find the guy, whoever that guy is. Through hell or high water, you got to find the guy. I love that approach. Tua is not the guy. You got to move on.
And then the Cleveland Browns. Who do they think they are? I mean, you got to pass an SAT, an ACT, an aptitude test, a character test, and a whole bunch of hoops and hurdles to get that job. What are you doing? Yeah, hold on. Here it is, right here. Sean, the Browns are reportedly a data-driven operation and are requiring head coaching candidates to complete questionnaires, a multi-part essay, a personality test, and additional homework, per Tom Pelissero. Mike McDaniel and Jesse Minter, we saw withdraw their names from consideration and take other jobs quickly. I don't know what Andrew Berry's got going on, but Cleveland right back to being a dumpster fire.
A lot of talent on defense. I'm not sold on any of the guys that are on the quarterback position. I'm not sold on the market. I'm canceling my interviews. Simple as that. I wouldn't want to coach there. I know it's only 32 of these jobs. Then maybe God has me just being an OC for the rest of my life. But I'm not taking Cleveland and I'm not taking Arizona. I got to be honest. Those are the 2 jobs I'm staying away from. Those are like dead pits jobs. I don't see those jobs as good jobs, especially Cleveland, especially this. I just want to do
it. We could go a 30-team NFL season and be fine with it. We would not be mad if the Browns and Cardinals just run out of runs.
Yeah, horribly run organizations. Horrible.
Well, you got anything else for me, Sean?
No, we back on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, we are. No, I don't know when it became just a cool thing to hate on inside the NBA, but it needs to stop. Y'all mad that Charles Barkley said if you're at the Hawks and Hornets, the Hornets and Wizards game, you had nothing to do today. Was he lying?
Yeah, that was funny though.
We're talking about crapping on what was he lying? And then y'all will post that clip, but y'all won't post after the highlights of him. Like, no, but let's be honest though, the Hornets aren't going to make the play-ins in all seriousness. Like, why y'all picking and choosing?
2 things. I have a bone to pick with you about this. Charles Lee. Why would you said in the chat? Why would he might be on the hook for his job? That team is playing way better now.
They are, but yeah. I gotta. He got to do something with these rotations, though. You're playing too many games.
And then second, I love Charles, but you complain about working. You want to get worked to death, and now we barely see you. I don't think
Sean, come on. Again, y'all ain't paying attention to the full conversation.
Go ahead.
He went on and explained, bro. We were on one time in December. One time. Come on. His thing was, I'm not going to be on first. I'm not going to be on Get Up and First Take and Sports Center and NBA Today, and then bring my butt to Inside the NBA also and do it multiple times a week. Because we know ESPN loves doing that.
Yeah, then don't do it.
He ain't say I don't want to do Inside the NBA for a whole month.
This is the problem with Inside the NBA. Even with all the shows. Again, I'm confused with the whole stream. I'll get used to it. If you're going to do Inside the NBA, I know they're going to do the Saturday coverage, and they're going to. I get it. More people are going to watch the NBA now than the NFL is about to be over. Cool. Why don't just have them be the pregame show? Like, they were working 2 days a week anyways before. Like, why would they just be their
pregame show? Whole season. Exactly.
Yeah,
because ESPN, y'all only did Wednesday and Friday during football season. You can let them do Wednesday during football season because nobody watches TV on Friday nights anyway. And college football is taking Friday night also.
Yeah,
they could have done every Wednesday for the first half. But again, it was a trade because it was the trade off for the Big 12 on TNT and some playoff games. But like, they can work. Like, y'all got to stop this hate though, because that's not Sean. Do Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith not preach the absolute gospel every year when March Madness comes around?
Yeah, they're amazing.
Let's really talk about this. They watch a little bit of college ball. Those guys have a pretty good scouting report on whatever team it is after halftime of their first round game. By the time the second weekend comes, they've got the book on everything. I mean, they have a 200% accurate scouting report on every team by the time the second weekend rolls around.
Yeah, it's accurate. It's that
you tune into that halftime show, they tell you the exact adjustment that needs to be made in the second half. And whichever coach listens to them always wins the game. Come on, Charles Barkley's been around basketball for how long? And was the second best player in the NBA for how long? And has now been at the desk for how long? Like, come on, man. Y'all gonna stop acting like these cats just don't know what they're talking about.
No, they do. They just gotta figure it out because are they doing the whole finals?
They're doing the whole finals. I think they're doing every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday from here on out because Prime's doing Thursday and Fridays. Like, no, they're here to stay now.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna be real. I'm okay with it because the NBA Cup is now on Prime and stuff like that. If it ramps up, because at the end of the day, when football season's done, that's when my full attention goes to the NBA. I just will be like, yo, Charles is getting $25 million a year. Yeah. Like, come on.
My issue is everybody just hop on the bandwagon and cracking on him. Come on, man. Stop it. Like, because I can point out issues for each partner. Why am I listening to Steve Nash and 3 power forwards on Prime?
Yeah.
Why am I listening to 3 ring scorers with 0 championships on NBC?
Damn, yeah.
3 wing scorers.
Damn.
Matter of fact, I said 0 champion. I think 0 finals appearances. When you want to count Tracy McGrady in a fat ass Spurs jersey, I guess.
Vince didn't go to the finals at all. No, because Vince played for like 50 years. He didn't go to one team finals.
No, he got to Orlando, I want to say, after they went to the chip. He got to the Suns, never went to one. Never went in Jersey. Yeah, he went to Jersey after they were done going to the finals. Never went in Toronto. So I can point out an issue with all of them. And why is it like the African dude that's hosting 7 p.m. with Melo? Who are you? You're Melo's homeboy. Don't start that Rich Paul and Maverick Carter stuff thinking you somebody because you cool. No, you're nobody. Stop, bro. Stop.
Yeah, Kazim something. I forgot his last name.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I gotta be real. I miss TNT. I'm not a big fan of the combinations of some of the NBC guys and the Amazon guys. I'm just not a big fan of it right now. But whatever, I'll get used to it. It's 11 years here to stay. But I'm just not. I don't know. It just feels weird. I want to hear Kevin Harlan and Reggie Miller together. I can't front.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's time. I'll get more into it now. The basketball season is NFL season is done. But I'm just not a big fan of how it's been going. But the ratings are winning. So who am I?
Yeah, no, the ratings have been, but again, like, let's be honest. Whether they on TNT and ESPN, and that was it. When you're now on NBC 2 nights a week, but no, you're only on NBC once in Peacock. But still, that's broadcast TV as opposed to cable.
Yeah,
your ratings are going to soar.
Yeah, you're right. Because now everybody has cable.
And
So,
everyone has an Amazon membership in the world. Right?
exactly. It was the right deal. It's just it takes
Yeah.
time to use to. I do like the studio show on Amazon, but I do agree we should have it a little. I like when Dirk's on it.
I can keep going to Amazon. Taylor Rooks reads all her intros while staring dead into her laptop. Put it on the prompter. Look into the camera. I can talk about all of them.
Critiquing.
But it's just a cool thing to hate on inside. And y'all going to stop this nonsense. But I hate this new world we got.
But funny, that game was actually a good game, the Wizards and Hornets.
I wouldn't know. That's like college basketball.
The score was 115-112, but who cares? Who cares? Like the Wizards shouldn't win a game again.
Bro, Brian Keefe has the second worst winning percentage in NBA history. Y'all gonna say that matters?
No, don't. They need.
Y'all watching that game? We bagging on the inside crew for not wanting to watch the Wizards. Who wants to watch the Wizards? People in DC don't want to watch the Wizards.
The NBA needed fix. The fix needs to be in. The Atlanta Hawks and the Washington Wizards or the Pacers need to be in the top 3 picks, and those 3 guys need to go there. I think in this order, Atlanta needs a star because it's a great market, so they should get the first pick. Second pick, I'll just go with the Wizards, and then third pick, I'll go with Indiana. That's my
bring the chocolate back to Chocolate City, man.
Darren Peterson in Washington or AJ might be the better fit in Washington.
Yeah,
actually,
we need black in DC.
AJ.
But we have to talk about the Hawks to do tomorrow on the show.
Yeah.
So not tomorrow, Wednesday. So y'all keep it easy and be greasy. We'll see y'all in less than 48 hours.
All right.